In this video, we're going to be ranking where each Premier League side is going to finish next season. Starting off at the bottom of the table, we've got Crystal Palace, Watford, and Brentford. I think these teams will struggle the most next season, particularly in scoring goals. Normally, the teams that perform the worst in the Premier League have a hard time scoring goals. And also defensively, they really struggle. Going on to mid-table, we've got Wolves, Newcastle, Aston Villa, West Ham, Southampton, Brighton, and Norwich. So these teams will have a decent season, but there'll be times where they struggle. So in some games, they'll do really well, but in other games, they'll do really poorly. So these sides will be really inconsistent. And they're normally slightly better in one area. So for example, one side might be good at scoring goals, but defensively, they'll be really poor. So once again, they're really inconsistent. Now let's go on to the top 10. So the top half of this, or actually no, the bottom half of the top 10 will be Everton, Burnley, Leeds United, Leicester, and Manchester United. So these teams will do better than the mid-table sides. They'll be a bit more consistent, and I think they'll score more goals, as well as being better defensively. I think teams like Burnley, who did poorly last season, will really improve in both areas, both defensively and offensively, so they'll have a much better season. And teams like Manchester United, I think they'll drop off from last season. I think they won't score as many goals, and also defensively, I think they'll do worse. So that's why they'll drop down the league table. Leicester as well. I think they'll have a similar season to last season's, where they were decent, but they won't really improve on last season. Alright, now we're going on to the top 5. So we've got Tottenham, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. So I've got Liverpool to win the Premier League next season. So obviously these teams will be the best teams in the Premier League next season. They'll be the most consistent, they'll most likely score the most goals, and also they'll be the best defensively. So that's why they'll finish in such high positions. Next season will be a tough season, obviously with crowds back. It'll be tougher to play away from home, but that's part of the challenge. You've got to be able to play in all types of situations, and we'll see what happens next season.